Okay, I'm going to start to entertain you, so while he searches for my presentation. Well, actually we have, my institution, it's a federal government-owned research institution. It's among 18 institutions that we have in the Ministry of Science and Technology. We have from biology to information technology, so a very broad approach to science and technology. Specifically CTI, which is the... Okay, usa aqui?
Aqui para passar.
Tá legal. So, my institution is located in Campinas, São Paulo. We are 160 public servants and a total of 640 people. Mostly of our workforce is based or is funded by projects with the industry. It's a very flexible, dynamic institution. And we have 30 years of action or operation in Brazil. And our competencies ranges from materials, components, systems, through software. Okay, so we have 12 divisions from IC design through software, and we are part of the Brazil ID project that I think ABDI mentioned it, and GS1 also mentioned it. And we have capabilities on packaging. So for RFID, we do special packaging, special substrates, and also IC design. So we are already working with RFID very deeply. Although IOT is still something we have to learn in a more broad sense regarding the systems. But what I'm going to show you is not what we've done on this area, but I'm going to focus on what we can do in a discussion that's going on in the Ministry of Science and Technology regarding projects that might benefit from IoT. So just to give you an idea how these 18 institutions work together in the Ministry of Science and Technology, and thanks to former Minister Mercadante, we really went through restructuring of our institutions. We are going through a restructuring where we put all the institutions working together for the public policies of the ministry. And now with Minister Haupt, we are really going deep on this new approach of putting all the institutions working together. So here what we have is, I guess I have here, yeah, I'm going to just get closer. So those are some examples of policies we have in the ministry. So this is for disabled people. This is solid, residues is, residues, right? For instance, electronic goods, how you dispose electronic goods, and all the policy related to WE and ROS and Design for Environment policies. This is the Brazilian certification policy. This is the Brazilian policy for IC design and IC manufacturing. This is the industrial policy from displays through integrated circuits. And I believe that IoT might be another force working together with all these policies in order to make it perhaps get some advantages from synergies. So in our ministry, we have 3 secretaries. This is the Information Technology Policy Secretary. This is a Secretary of Technology Programs and Special Programs, and this is Social Inclusion Secretary. And if you get the Brazilian policies, they map these secretaries in different ways, right? And now here we have the unities of research, and my institution is one of those. And we are basically putting all these unities to work toward to make the different public policies work. Okay, so we have right now a discussion through the different. I mentioned the 18 units of research related to Ministry of Science and Technology. So we have different working groups preparing some projects that will be actually take all the competencies of the ministry to work together. So we have from airspace to environment, nanotechnology, digital inclusion, and one that I'm working on is the ICT, I mean the information technology and communication. And for this one, we have basically 5 unities working on that, okay? And we are creating this matrix of competencies in order to put all these unities working together. And the architecture that we are working on in order to make all these institutions working together is to use this conventional architecture of sensing the environment, analysis, and services, okay? So that's where the IoT could be connected to this huge policy. Here, where you have the sensors, you could imagine including this into this project. So actually, at this moment, I would like to invite other institutions to consider the possibility of participating with us on the specification of this project. We expect to have this project is going to have a reasonable amount of support, and perhaps if we can work together on this from now, we could design how these institutions could work together with other institutions not connected to the Ministry of Science and Technology, right? So it's basically doing research and development for collecting data, analysis of data, and providing services to the society. So I'm going to cite two cases we are considering. First, as you know, in the last 2 or 3 years, we had very huge disasters in Brazil related to rain season, right? February of last year, I think, had a lot of people dying because of slides on the mountains close to Rio de Janeiro. And there is a big effort of the Brazilian government in order to increase our capability of preventing this kind of disasters, right? So right now, CTI and another institution of the ministry called SEMADEM, we are working together in order to increase the number of sensor devices related to rain, right? So Brazil right now uses a lot of information from radars in order to detect the amount of rain, and there is an effort to increase the number of pluviometers. Pluviometers, is that the word? Yeah, right. Increase as you know, we have this large country, and we intend to put at least 2 pluviometers per risk area in Brazil. Okay, so how this could be connected to IoT would be a very interesting topic to be discussed. Another one is we have a lot of efforts on digital inclusion. So right now, this wideband national program, the Programa Nacional de Banda Larga, I hope I translated right.
Broadband
program. Thank you very much. Well, now we have all these devices working on schools, on hospitals, and we have all this access provided to the population. But how do you measure how these policies are really working, right? So putting sensing devices where you guarantee that the users still keep their privacy, right? But putting sensing devices on the last mile in order to check how people is using the internet would be very useful for the government in order to get more information about the success or how these projects are evolving, right? So for both cases, even from the disaster one I just mentioned and the digital inclusion, you need to put sensors here and also provide analysis capabilities in order to, after that, provide the services to the government in terms of indicadores and things like that the policymakers like to analyze. Okay, so specifically for the working group related to information technology and communication, we have these institutions here working together. We are really in the early stages of defining how those could contribute for this three-level architecture. We have CTI, which is basically connected to IC design and IC manufacturing. They are working with the RFID for the what we call the chip do boi, right? The RFID for bulls. No, it's there is another word for boi. Cattle. Yeah, right. And we have CTI, which is also working IC design. CTI is really working on several aspects of IT. We're really an IT research center. This is an institution related to providing information on science and technology. Well, the National Institute for Space Research, which is very connected to environment evaluation and also to prevent disasters. LNCC is basically a high-performance computing facility for the part of analysis of the analysis layer, and our Rede Nacional de Pesquisa, which is a very successful effort on providing internet for the Brazilian science and technology infrastructure. So, and the last one is actually SEMADEM, which is not here, which is going to be part of this. So we are discussing how we can include them on this project. So I wonder if there is something we can work together in order to include into this effort the demands of IoT proposal. Okay. Another thing I want to comment is related to disabled people. I wonder how IoT could be put at the service of disabled people, right? Right now, Brazil has this very important policy called Viver Sem Limite, which is the Brazilian policy for disabled people. I don't know if everybody's aware of that, but we have 45 million people in Brazil that could be considered as disabled people. And the chance of any of us becoming disabled is very high in the next 60 years. There is a calculation of probability of a person that has no disability to become disabled. It's a very high probability. So it's a very important topic that we have to deal with. And Brazil is, has a policy of $7 billion reais actually for this specific topic. So I wonder if the same sensing capabilities related to IoT could be used in order to serve this policy, this particular policy. And CTI, my institution, has a whole of organizing all the efforts in Brazil connected to this policy. Okay, so that's where our research units are located, right? So we have a big concentration in the southeast, right? And also now increasing our presence. This one has 160 years already. So some people don't know, but these institutions are really, really traditional. For instance, the National Observatory has 200 years. So it's from the Empire time. Okay, so era. So it's a really very rich environment for the research, and I would like to offer myself to be the contact point of this world to this community that's related to IoT. Okay. So I just want to mention this new research center connected to assistive technology. Assistive technology is the technology for disabled people. And I would like to invite you to visit. It's located at CTI in Campinas. And here perhaps we could start some discussions on how IoT could help disabled people. I have 5 minutes, but I'm going to finish it now. Thank you very much.